Hi there, everyone. Welcome to this little recording. My name's Emma van der Laan, and I'm going to be briefly talking about skin health and how essential oils can basically benefit your skin on a daily basis. First of all, I'd just like to share my own personal skin journey with you. I was diagnosed with a rare liver condition 5 years ago now. And a implication of that condition, I suffered a lot with, or a symptom, let's say, I suffered a lot with skin issues. So specifically skin issues on the face, but also on the chest area. And I really suffered with this for a long time. It was very difficult in terms of from an emotional level, because it really stopped me from going out. People would stare at me. It was really confronting. So, and also, I didn't really have a solution. Every time I kept going to the doctors, they kept telling me, we don't have an answer for this. And I was convinced that it was related to the liver issues, but there was never any correlation between the two. So I could never really get to the bottom of what was causing my skin to be so reactive. I think instinctively, I thought the two were connected. So I really had to start looking at a different way of living. So from a food aspect, from a health aspect, and also from looking at what products that I'm using on my skin, and how I was going to support my body internally to try and help my body heal. And that was a huge, I suppose, leap of faith for me. So yeah, I just started really diving into diet, clean eating, looking at all the vegetables and things that were going to be supporting my health. I decided to stop eating meat. I decided to stop eating things like cheese, milk, and then I started looking at what my toxic overload was, and I was introduced to essential oils through my good friend Ebony, where she opened up this world for me in terms of using more natural products, not only for my skin but also in my lifestyle. So when it comes to things like cleaning, the shampoos that you use, the body creams that you use, literally everything. And also now I use oils to help support emotional health. So I'm so grateful to you, Ebony, for introducing me to the oils. And I'm just going to briefly show you an image of what my skin looked like prior. Just bear with me a moment. Let's share my screen. So this was my skin at the beginning of my skin journey. As you can see, it was really inflamed, really aggressive, really dry. And it's hard to treat all of those different things. It was inflamed, it was dry, it was spotty, it was pimply. I mean, there was a lot going on. So, I felt like when I was using certain creams, that was too oily, then it was making it too dry. It just was such a difficult skin condition to treat. Essentially, they diagnosed me with rosacea. So with rosacea, it becomes very red and inflamed, and it's very difficult to get under control. So then I started diving into essential oils. Prior to that, obviously, I was looking at lots of different specific creams that were designed to help reduce rosacea. Now, they would work periodically, and then they would stop working. But I'm going to go more into this during this presentation. So your skin will hold you accountable 100% of the time. So if we think about this, when anything is going on your skin, it's definitely your body is telling you something's going on internally. So it's really time to just start looking at what's going on. Now, it can be anything from hormones to, gut health. And those two tend to be the main causes of skin issues, so gut health and hormone imbalance. However, with my situation, it was a little bit more complicated than that. So it was definitely hormone related, because I'd had a baby. However, I think it was definitely much more complicated and more complex than that, and definitely connected with my liver issues. So obviously for me, then I really wanted to start looking at the digestion and start working from the inside outside. So your skin is definitely going to hold you accountable. It's a really good time to check in with yourself if there's things going on skin-wise. So that can be anything from eczema, acne-prone skin, rosacea, eczema, all of those kind of things. We definitely need to be looking and addressing our overall health. And a lot of these skin problems, you know, I've heard it from many of my friends who've suffered with skin problems. You go to the doctors and there's never a real solution. They don't tell you, I guess, to address things internally. I was given antibiotic cream, and they said you would be using this for the rest of your life. Now, that really didn't sound appealing to me. Obviously, when you start using antibiotics long term, then they do eventually stop working. So, you know, even if I had gone down that route, eventually it would have stopped working. So I would have been still faced with all of these problematic skin issues. So we're going to talk about the major topics today here on this presentation. We're going to be talking about the norm, so what the normal is right now, skincare no-nos, and the goods, and then the best of the best. So we'll just dive into this briefly. So just bear with me. So the norm. So the skin industry, or the beauty industry, is a $5 billion industry. And that's a hell of a lot of product that's out there to choose from. So you can imagine it's incredibly complex, especially when you're dealing with specific skin issues. You've really got to then start searching and experimenting with various products to try and manage what's going on with your skin. Now, it can become incredibly expensive, as I have experienced. I've invested a hell of a lot of money into skincare products, skin regimes. I've seen lots of different skin therapists, and actually nothing ever really worked. It worked for a short amount of time, and then literally I'd be back at square one. So it becomes incredibly expensive, incredibly time consuming as well. So, you know, you're having to go out, find this, you know, you're checking out recommendations of other people, and what necessarily may work for one person may not work for you. So time consuming, it's a total jungle. There's so many products out there. And also, you know, the advertising world within skin and beauty is so vast. They say, this is going to help wrinkles, this is going to help improve this is going to help improve that. So we don't really know what it's actually doing. And we'll dive a little bit more into that in a moment. So, and yeah, of course, it's highly annoying and highly frustrating. That's my experience. So skincare no-nos. So our skin is our biggest organ. It basically acts as a barrier to help support toxin. It's a barrier to help our internal organs. Sorry, so it's protecting our body on the inside, and our skeleton, our organs, our blood, everything. However, our skin is a sponge, so it absorbs literally everything that you put on it. So that can be anything from beauty products to cleaning products. Anything it comes in contact, it's going to absorb. And on average, a woman applies 168 different known and unknown chemicals a day. And that's within the first 2 or 3 hours of the day. So you can imagine that's a hell of a lot of toxins that is going into our body that our body has then got to try and get rid of. So Known toxins have definitely got some awful side effects. You can check this out on, there's a great website called EWG or Healthy Living or Detox Me. And that lists basically all the toxins within each product. You can add any product in there and it will list the ingredients and it will give you a rating of that particular product, whether it's good or bad. And it will also give you a list of those ingredients and what those ingredients can possibly cause. So it's a really good source and a really good tool to help you look at the products that you've got or products that you have bought in the past. Definitely go to that website, because the FDA do not regulate what goes into any of the skincare lines on the market at the moment. So we could literally be getting anything in those products. We need to be looking at EDCs, which is endocrine disruptors, which basically has an effect on your hormones. So I don't want to be putting any products into my body that's going to affect my hormone, or, you know, we already deal with hormone imbalances naturally. So why would you want to add anything that's going to impact that even more? Parabens, definite no-nos. Petroleum, parabens are, you know, carcinogenics. We want to be definitely avoiding anything that's carcinogenic, cancer causing. Petroleum, coal, tar, fragrances, hydroquinone, and triclosan. Can't really pronounce that, sorry. But these are the things that we should be really looking out for that's in our skin product. And actually, for me, I want to make sure that I don't have to look out for those things in my skincare line or the things that I'm putting into my body. So I'm making a conscious choice to actually change what I'm using. Obviously, the products on the market, you know, can be unsustainable. A lot of things tested on animals are definitely a big no-no for me. And yeah, we just want to be really making sure that we're totally aware of this. And I think once we start educating ourselves on these skincare no-nos, then we start to fully understand how important it is to be reducing our toxic load. So the goods. So making a conscious choice is vital for starting to understand what we've learned here and to start making those and implementing those changes into your lifestyle. So the conscious choice I decided to make was to choose a trusted brand, and knowing that brand is really transparent about where their oils are sourced, or where the product is sourced, the transparency of the product, how they're treating the people involved in sourcing the oils, how clean the product is. So for me, it's really the whole picture. It's not just about the product, it's about the whole circle of where that product has come from. Yeah, and that for me is really is definitely going to be high up there in terms of when I'm buying a product now. So what are essential oils? So essential oils are natural substances that are found in plants. They're tiny compounds that basically act as the plant's immune system. So we find those compounds in the root, in the leaf, in the bark, say, of the tree, and they act as the plant's immune system, and they help the plant, flower, tree protect and repair itself and nourish itself. So we're essentially taking those extracts out of the plant, and we are using it for our own physical and metaphysical properties and medicinal properties to use for ourselves. Now, doTERRA have their own CPTG standard. So this basically means they have their own trademark, which is classed as certified pure therapeutic grade. Now, because of doTERRA, because of their way of sourcing, because of the way they are regulated, they're tested, they go through third-party testing. I think that, well, they have, I think 58, they go through 58 lots of testing before the product is allowed to go onto the market. So you can imagine that that's an incredible amount of testing to make sure there's no contaminants, no pesticides, nothing is in those oils, and they are really strict and stringent on those tests. They're completely natural, they're completely pure, safe and potent. And because of the potency of the oil, we don't need to be using a lot. So from a cost-effective standpoint, they are very cost-effective. Now, a lot of essential oils that we find on the market today are either diluted with other substances or synthetic substances that we really want to be avoiding. We don't want to be using that or putting that on our skin. So this is why doTERRA, for me, you know, they're the most potent, the most clean, and I just want to be making sure that there's no synthetic properties going in and being absorbed into my skin, and that essentially then going into my body. So how does an essential oil work? So essential oils are basically tiny little compounds that actually, I'll just show you here with, this is my beautiful frankincense. So if we just put one drop onto the skin, and then we rub this into the skin, because they're such small compounds, it doesn't leave a greasy film on top of the skin. It literally absorbs into the skin within 30 seconds to a minute, and then then it absorbs into the bloodstream so quickly, and then it's literally moving around throughout the body, within such a short space of time. Now, but because of the lipid formation of the oil, they're able to penetrate the cell. So you see this small little diagram here. So if for example, there's bacteria lying around that cell, or there's a virus in that cell, the oils are really going to help penetrate and help push and help support the body push that virus out as quickly as possible. Now, in terms of skin health, the three areas of absorption routes are your hair follicles, your epidermals, and your sweat glands. So it's going to be absorbed into those three parts of the body, which is super supportive. Now, there are three ways to use essential oils, and obviously we're talking skin today. So topically is going to be the one way of applying essential oils. Now, absorption through the skin into the bloodstream. So that basically means, like I explained before, it's going to really quickly reach your bloodstream and go into the body. With topical application, you really only need 1 to 2 drops with a carrier oil on the soles of your feet, the back of your spine. And pulse points are really nice to use. So like your temples, your wrists, even this nice part here, the ear, is a nice pulse point. So often people like to use essential oils on all those acupuncture points, and this can be another really beneficial way to use it topically. And then with some oils that I'm going to be discussing today, you can definitely be using those on your face and body. Again, we always make sure that we dilute with either a carrier oil or even things like shea butter, and other creams that are definitely toxic free. So topically, that's the way we use the oils. Aromatically, obviously, is a great way to use them. So we do 1 to 2 drops. Now, this is a great way to use the oils if you're out and about. So if you don't have a diffuser at hand and you just carry the oils around with you, then this is a great way to use. And then just 1 to 2 drops. Cup the hands over the nose and the mouth, and then just breathe in. And this is the fastest way for the oils to access the gland within the brain through your olfactory system. And this is a great way to then start accessing those neuropathic signals within the brain, and help support your body emotionally and physically. So with also diffusing, you could also use a diffuser. I'm just going to show you my diffuser here. And this is a really great way to diffuse to help you and everybody else that lives within the environment that you're living in. So your family, for example, your partner, and everyone's going to then get the benefits of the oil. So if you see the little red mark there, you fill the water up to that point, and then you can add 1 to 2 drops of each oil in the water. And there's lots of different blends that you can make specifically that are going to help specific mood. Yeah, and blends to help clean the air. So there's lots of different blends that you can use aromatically. And then lastly, we're going to just briefly talk about internal use. The oils, because of their purity, because of their potency, you know, they're not only safe for using topically and aromatically, but we recommend ingestion. So this way, they're definitely going to be moving through the blood-brain barrier much easily and much more quickly. And how we take internally, you can use 1 to 2 drops in water. So things like lemon oil. This is a great oil to be using in your water every day. So 1 to 2 drops, and then just mix with a spoon. And that just helps displace the oil within the water to make sure that you're not getting like a load of essential oil in the first sip. And then the second way you can take internally is to use a veggie cap, so a vegetable cap, and then you can just put 1 to 2 drops of each oil. You can make your own blends and then take that with water, and that's a great way to use internally. Now, all the oils will give you advice on which ones you can use internally, aromatically and topically. That information is on the bottle. You can also look that up online, and it also, where it will give you that information of which ones you can use aromatically, topically, internally. So always keep an eye out for that. There are some oils that we don't suggest to use internally because of the compounds, and because they're maybe more warm, hot oils. So things like Deep Blue, which is specifically for muscle and bone health, is not recommended to take internally because those specific oils are specifically for that. So topically and aromatically are okay, but not internally. So just make sure you always check that out before you are going to use any oil internally. Okay, so the wellness lifestyle. This is a nice diagram to just give you an overview of the areas that we should be definitely looking and tackling when we are approaching anything to do with skin health or any health concern. These things are definitely going to go hand in hand in terms of managing that. So the most important thing we always advise is looking at our diet. So diet is essential and is key to skin health. We need to be eating clean, lots of vegetables, lots of fruit. I personally reduced my dairy intake because there's a lot of studies out there and information out there. You can do the research that states dairy and skin are really, if you're suffering with skin issues, dairy is definitely a big no-no. We should be looking at gluten, sugar, just making sure that we try and get that right. Diet is going to be the most important thing to look at when you're starting to look at healing the body. Then secondly, exercise is essential. Exercise is has been one of the main factors in keeping my skin healthy and helping it heal, because essentially we are helping the body detox through exercise. We're helping it get rid of all of those toxins. So this should be really an essential part of this lifestyle. Rest and management stress. Now, resting is really important. You know, when we rest, our body is recovering. It's allowing our body to recover and heal. And then managing stress is going to be really important. Stress is, you know, if we're living in a constant state of stress, which means we are releasing cortisol for long periods of time, then at some point, and like I've had my own experiences with this, is the body starts to technically shut down when we're living in constant states of stress. And stress is a trigger for lots of different health issues. Also with skin, I know with my skin, whenever I was stressed, my skin would flare up, inflammation would start, everything would just start getting out of whack. So managing stress is really key. Now, how to manage stress, that's completely up to you, how you manage stress. Things that I found helpful are things like meditation, yoga, acupuncture, and essential oils. You know, essential oils are a great tool emotionally to help deal with stress. But that's obviously another subject that we can go into in great length. However, this is a skin subject, so we will be doing more videos on emotional health. So if you want to tap into that at some point, we'll keep you in the loop. Then reducing our toxic load. So obviously we talked briefly before about the certain toxins that we should be aware of, that we should be looking at when we are using any skin products, and we are trying to get rid of that. So we're reducing that toxic overload. Also with cleaning products, we should be reducing toxic overload. You know, cleaning products are the worst. They literally are full of toxins. And I think when you look at cleaning products, there's even diagrams on there that says if you swallow, you know, you need to immediately, or if a child swallows, you need to immediately seek medical attention. The most amazing thing about essential oils is because there's no toxins in there and you're making your own cleaning products, then if a child was to accidentally, say, drink maybe some On Guard mixed with water and vinegar, then you know that they're completely safe. You know, they're not going to have poisoning from that. So for me, that's really key, is reducing those toxics within the kitchen, within the bathroom, just getting rid. So toxic overload is definitely something we should also be addressing to help our body. You know, our body has enough jobs to do in terms of keeping itself healthy. So by us reducing those toxics, you're just really helping your body out. Then we have informed self-care. Now, informed self-care is, instead of reaching for paracetamol or aspirin, you're going to definitely reach for peppermint. Or if you're going to, you know, maybe you have issues with digestion, you have acid reflux or constipation or anything like that, instead of reaching for medication, then you're going to reach for the Digeszen, and that's going to really help support that. So it's informing yourself of alternative oils, or might not necessarily be oils, it may be acupuncture, areas like that that's going to help you with those issues in day-to-day life that normally we may just take and pop a pill for, but you're going to search for an alternative. And then proactive medical care. Now, we're not saying don't use any medicine. Like, we are not doctors. I am giving you information based on my own personal experience. So we're not advocating not to use your own medication. If you need to use that, then that's totally okay. However, what we are advocating is to try and bridge the gap between the two, and also to prevent. You know, by implementing all of these things into your lifestyle, you are literally helping your body prevent anything bad happening in terms of your health. So all of these go hand in hand. It's not just essential oils. We're looking at the whole picture, and this is something that should be taken seriously. So I'm going to briefly now talk about the essential oils that I used in the beginning. So these technically were a good base to use if you're not familiar with essential oils and how to use them for your skin. So we'll first start with this gorgeous oil, geranium. Now, geranium is absolutely, I love it. And I didn't love it at the beginning. However, this was an oil that I grew to love. And my understanding is that I think with essential oils, when you don't really like the smell, it's often a sign that your body needs that. So I love geranium now. I mean, it's absolutely gorgeous. Great oil for hydrating and nourishing the skin. Now, I like to use, in the beginning, I was using these in my own shea butter. So I'd just put a couple of drops in there and then mix it with my own creams. So you could do a combination of this with something else that we'll talk about in a moment. So amazing for hydrating and nourishing. Great for calming inflammation. And it's super supportive with wrinkles. So it's nice to use under the eyes or this part of the face. I have an issue with open pores, so I tend to get very oily skin. It's kind of a combination skin, so dry and oily. So this is a really beautiful oil to help control and tighten the pores, and it controls that oiliness. Really beautiful for lightening scars and any pigmentation that you have in your skin. It's going to really help reduce that. So this is a beautiful base oil to start with. It has very similar properties to rose oil, but it's a little bit more affordable. So if you're just starting with oils, then this would be a great one to pick out if you're on a bit more of a budget. But yeah, a great oil to start with. Then we have tea tree, beautiful. Everyone's heard of tea tree. Tea tree is from Australia. This is a beautiful oil for acne-prone skin or any blemishes. I like to use this immediately. Now you can buy this in the 15 ml, which is this size, or you can buy it in the pre-diluted bottle, which is 10 ml, and it's already pre-diluted with coconut oil. And this is a great one. I like to have this one with me in my bag because I can just whip it out at any point. And it's going to really help keep the area, like if you have a spot, pimple or blemishes, it's going to really help keep that protected because it's antifungal, antibacterial, and it's just going to keep that clean. And it's an amazing oil to use for any insect bites. It's great for scalp health. Again, any so if you have quite oily scalp, I would definitely reach for the tea tree. And great for knit, like knit support. Like we have issues with knits. It's not really skin related, but we've had issues with knits with our children. And this has been a great little oil to use with things like rosemary to help prevent the knits. So it's amazing for skin health, but it also has many other uses. So yeah, tea tree, very versatile oil. Then lavender. Now lavender's an oil that I use again daily, not only for myself, but for the family. So it's amazing for burns, amazing for things like sunburn. So now, well, obviously we're not really going on holiday now with everything going on with Corona, but we're still being exposed to sun because it's quite warm here. So if you're suffering with sunburn, this is a great one to use with things like aloe vera that are going to help really cool the skin. It's super healing for burns. Amazing if you're suffering with bites. It's really calming. It's good for reducing scarring. if you suffer with things like eczema and very dry skin, then lavender would be the oil to reach for. And the physical properties of lavender, it's amazing for sleep, it helps anxiety, and a beautiful oil to use for things like stress. So, you know, you're using the oils for skin, but you're also going to be receiving the physical and emotional benefits at the same time. So those are three base oils that I would always sort of recommend to people who are not really familiar with essential oils and want to sort of get started with them. So now we're going to dive into the more complex oils. So frankincense, copaiba, yarrow pom, and sal volant. These are four of my favorites that I use. So we have frankincense. Now, frankincense is a great oil for, first of all, it's the king of oils. It's so versatile. It's amazing for lots of areas. I would say this is definitely one of my favorite oils because it addresses so many things. However, for skin health, it's so supportive for boosting secretion of collagen in the skin. It helps, it gives you the appearance of tight skin because it's really tightening the elastin in the skin. Again, it minimizes the appearance of scars, balances the skin pH levels, which is really important. And then it also supports a healthy lymphatic system. So that's really key, within our body for the detoxing. It's going to help promote cell renewal, super important. So not only on the surface of our skin, it's going to help promote cell renewal inside the body. So an all-around beautiful, beautiful oil for skin health and physical health and emotional health. Then we have copaiba. Now, I like to use these two together. Very, very powerful two oils together. Again, copaiba is an amazing oil for boosting secretion of collagen in the skin, so very similar properties to frankincense in that sense. It helps fade stretch marks, really good for reducing redness. So for me with rosacea, this was the oil that I used to help reduce that, especially with things like acne, rosacea, those sort of prone skin types. And then because of its CP1 and 2 receptors, so it's very similar to, has a very similar compounds to CBD oil in terms of the cannabinoid makeup of this oil. So it's really amazing for calming the nervous system. So it interacts with our own cannabinoid system, and it's really powerful. A powerful oil for that, for not only our nervous system, for our skin. So beautiful copaiba from Brazil. Then we have yarrow pom. Yarrow pom for me was an absolute game changer for skin health. Now, this is a combination of two active botanical plant powers. So we've got yarrow and then pomegranate. And these just really help provide a powerful antioxidant for the support, not only in the body, but also for the skin. It's super hydrating for the skin. Like literally, you just put this, it's like your skin is drinking. It's super soothing, again, for inflammation, anti-aging. It promotes cellular and immune function. So it's really going to support your immune health, and it's really going to support the health of your cells. So again, an all-round beautiful oil, but so supportive for skin. And now they have a body serum that you can use, so super powerful. Then we have the soluble, which is the powerhouse of oils. I don't actually have this yet because I've run out, but we'll talk about this, how it's going to support skin. It has all the top powerhouse oils in there, so frankincense, myrrh, sandalwood, lavender, helichrysum, rose, all really beautiful, powerful oils for skin support. This is going to really help with wrinkles, fine lines, scarring, anti-aging, really good for reducing tension. So again, a really good oil to be using for emotional health and really helpful for boosting mood. So these are sort of more complex oils, and oils that I would definitely recommend for anyone who has more severe skin issues that they want to try and address. So yeah. Then doTERRA have their own skin lines. Now the skin line on the left has been designed for more mature skin. I use this on a daily basis. Actually, in the beginning, when I started using essential oils, I was a little bit apprehensive about using their own skin line products on my skin because it was so reactive. But literally now I'm like, I would not look back. I have used these products on my skin now for 2 years. And it's literally the only thing that I can use on my skin that doesn't react. And it's funny because there have been moments where I have been in a situation where I've had I've forgotten a cream or I've forgotten something, and my skin felt so dry, and I've just had to use something that maybe I borrowed a cream off someone that was natural, but it just reacts immediately. So so yeah, this is a really nice skin line. Then we have the HD Clear, which is for people with more acne prone skin. This is going to really help with spots. It's going to really help with, yeah, like this would be a skin line that I would definitely recommend for say teenage skin. So when there's definitely that imbalance of hormones, this would be the go-to skin line for that. And then we have the Virage line, which is a beautiful line. This really has been designed for like just normal skin, so not problematic skin. And it's just a beautiful way of nourishing your skin and knowing that you're not having all of those toxins. Now, the most important thing for me is transparency when I'm looking for products. And the most amazing thing with doTERRA is they're really transparent about what's in their ingredients. You can easily pull off information on the website. It's going to give you a list of all the ingredients, what that function is, how it's been sourced or where it's been sourced from. So you really then have a wealth of information of what's actually in that product. And this is definitely on top of my list when making sure that my number one need is met, that it's 100% natural. Obviously, we talked about lifestyle and all of the things that are important to be managing. So diet, exercise, stress management, and then keeping a low toxic load. But one thing that I found super important and super beneficial for my journey was making sure that I was getting the right amount of nutrients. Supplementation is so essential. If you look at the food that we are eating these days, a lot of it is nutrient deficient. So we really have to be supplementing to make sure that we're getting the right balance and the right amount of nutrients. So doTERRA have their own line of supplements, which I can definitely recommend for anyone with skin issues. We're always looking at ways to address things from the inside, and this is a great way to start. So anyone who I've been working with who have skin health issues, I always recommend to start with this first. We're looking at ways to start helping our body heal from the inside. So we're going to be looking at diet, supplementation, exercise. And this is a great way to start. So we have the LLV, which is the Lifelong Vitality Pack, which consists of the XEO, which is an omega, which is highly vital for brain health, brain support, skin health, bone health. Then we have the Microplex VM, which is a food nutrient complex, which has been measured. So it's basically a formulation that's been measured specifically to make sure that you're getting the right balance of food nutrients. So everything is in there, all your vitamins, all your minerals. And then there are some essential oils in there as well to help. The tummy tamer, so peppermint, ginger, to help with any digestive issues. Then we have Alpha CRS Plus, which is a cellular vitality complex dietary supplement. This is going to really help support cell health, not only for the skin, but also internally. So these three combination is really important to be using to help support the skin. Then we've got the Zendocrine and Terrazyme system. So Zendocrine is a great blend for helping your body detox. It's really going to support that process. Then the Terrazyme is amazing for digestive enzymes. So this is going to really help support the body break down the food. Then we have PB Assist, which is a probiotic that everybody should be using. Gut health, gut flora is vital to health. Skin health, brain health, immune system, everything. If your gut health is out of whack, then this seriously is the first thing that everybody needs to be looking at. So a probiotic is super key. Then we have the GX Assist, which is a detoxing formula. This should only be done over a 10-day period and not combined with the PB Assist. So we do this periodically. But that's something I can dive into if that's something that you want to try and look at addressing. And then we have lemon oil. Now, lemon oil can be taken every day within the water, and this is just a great way of kickstarting the liver, kickstarting the digestive system, helping the body start to detox. You know, when you've been asleep, your body is sluggish because you've been resting. So this is a great way to just start getting that process working in the morning. So glow from the inside out is super key in terms of any health or skin health concerns. So that's it. Obviously, there's lots more. There are many more oils that can be used for skin, but I've just covered things that have helped me and a good starting point when it comes to supporting your health. And if there is any more information that you want to find out about certain oils, other oils, or how to start implementing this lifestyle into your life, then please do get in contact. There's lots of people here within our forum, lots of people who can help support you get these amazing oils into your life. So do not hesitate to reach out. And yes, I am absolutely grateful for these oils. They've helped me incredibly. And just giving me that confidence. Skin health is so important and something that we should all be taking care of. Okay, thank you so much for listening. Lovely to speak to you, see you all, and take care. Bye-bye.